Hello students, welcome to today's class, the second part of weather and climate. In our previous class, we have learned about what is weather, what is climate, difference between weather and climate, and also about the different elements of the weather and of cloud, about the different instruments that are used to read the elements of the weather. The recording of temperature. Recording of temperature can be done by the use of three instruments, that is thermometer, maximum and minimum thermometer, Stevenson screen. Firstly, your thermometer. As you can see in the image here, this is your thermometer. The lower portion is used for recording the freezing point, but the upper portion is used for measuring the boiling point of the water. Now it has a tube, uniform. It is not different in any places. It is uniform in size and it is filled with mercury. Secondly, we have got the maximum and minimum thermometer. Now this maximum and minimum thermometer can record the temperature of maximum and minimum in a given period. Thirdly, we have got the Stevenson screen. When this maximum and minimum thermometer is placed inside a box look alike, this is called your Stevenson screen. Now this Stevenson screen, okay, is set up 1.5 meter above the ground and it is closed. As you can see here, there is a small door like structure which is closed. Now this is closed because to protect the thermometer from the direct sunlight, whereas you can see here there is a small like ventilation through which the wind can easily pass through it. Therefore, the temperature records the heat of the wind and gives you the accurate reading. For this thermometer then, the instrument used to measure the temperature of free moving air is called your thermometer. So thermometer is basically used to measure the temperature of the wind. That is your thermometer. Now like we have already discussed, it is a narrow glass filled with mercury or alcohol. Now the scale used to measure the temperature are your Fahrenheit and degree Celsius. Now let us read more about Fahrenheit. The freezing point of Fahrenheit is at 32 degree Fahrenheit and boiling point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. Whereas in degrees Celsius, the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius and boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. In India, we use the degrees Celsius. Now, measurement of atmospheric pressure, that is the next element of the weather. It is measured with the help of barometer. The instrument used to measure the atmospheric pressure is called barometer. Used in the measurement of atmospheric pressure is millibar. This is written in the form of small letter m and small letter b. There are two types of barometer. Firstly, uh, simple barometer. Secondly, aneroid barometer. Let us read more in detail about the simple barometer. This is the image of the simple barometer. It consists of a long glass tube that is filled with mercury. It is sealed at the top and open at the bottom. This bottom is again dipped into the mercury. So when the air pressure falls on the mercury rises slowly and slowly towards the top of the tube. In this way, we record the reading of the air pressure. This is how, or this is the mechanism of how the simple barometer functions. About Android barometer. This is the image of your Android barometer and it looks very like a watch. It has no mercury in it and it is very easy to use. As you can see in the image that it does not contain any mercury. It is a metal box. It is made of a metal and it has a small opening or partially evacuated. Now this box is very sensitive towards the change in the pressure. Whenever there's a change in the pressure, okay, there's an expansion and contraction in this mechanism. With the help of the lever and spindle, it moves the pointer and gives you the reading. Since the box is connected to a pointer which moves over a scale to indicate the atmospheric pressure. Like I said, since it is very sensitive with the change in the pressure, atmospheric pressure, it expands and contracts. So when the process of expansion and contraction, with the help of the lever and spindle, the pointer moves and shows you the reading, or we get the atmospheric pressure reading. Next topic, measurement of humidity. The instrument used for measuring the humidity in the air is called hygrometer or wet and dry bulb thermometer. Now, this wet and dry bulb thermometer consists of two tubes, as you can see in the image, and it is fixed in a wooden frame. These two tubes are dry bulb and wet bulb. The dry bulb is kept open and it is uncovered, whereas the wet bulb out here is covered with cloth at the bottom, which is kept moist throughout the time, and it is deep into a water so that it remains moist. So when the wind blows and dries up the cloth, this tube records the lower temperature. Now, whenever there's a difference between the dry bulb reading and the wet bulb reading, it will show that there is more humidity in the air. And when there is similar readings between the wet bulb and the dry bulb, it shows that the air is fully saturated, that is, the air consists 100% of humidity. Next, measurement of rainfall. The instrument that is used for measuring rainfall is your rain gauge. Now, the rain gauge consists of a cylindrical vessels. In the bottom, there is a vessel which collects water, and at the top of the collecting jar, there is a funnel with water which help in collecting the rainwater. This rainwater is further poured into this measuring jar where the measurement is done, how much centimeter of rainfall is in that particular region. Now, the rainfall is always measured in millimeters. Speed and direction of the wind. There are several factors which determine the direction and speed of the wind. Firstly, the pressure. As you know that the air moves from high pressure to low pressure. That is, air moves from the high pressure region towards the low pressure region. That determines the direction of the flow of the wind. Secondly, the rotation of the earth. Due to the rotation of the earth experiences centrifugal force. So the air object on the northern hemisphere reflects to the right side, whereas the air object on the southern hemisphere deflect to the left hand side. And comes the friction or obstacle. For example, this is your plain area. So when the wind moves in the plain area without any obstruction and obstacle, the wind moves in a very smooth manner and the velocity is also high. But when it strikes a mountain, there's obstruction blocking the wind to flow smoothly. Therefore, it determines the direction as well as the speed of the wind. Anemometer is a device that is used to measure the velocity of the wind. It's called anemometer. The anemometer here is shown in the image how it looks like. The anemometer contains cups. This instrument has a system of cups and wind speed indicator. So whenever the wind blows, the cup rotates. The velocity of the wind, the faster is the rotation of the cups. Therefore, it gives you the reading of the velocity of the wind. 1 knot or 1 kilometer is equal to 1 nautical mile of hour. That is, the instrument indicates the speed of the or the velocity of the wind in kilometer or knots. The next device is your wind vane that is used to measure the direction of the wind. Your wind vane consists a pointed end called the arrow and the broad end called the tail. It also has got vertical rod and rods showing the directions. So whenever the wind blows, these instruments shows on which direction the wind is blowing. Isotherms. Isotherms are the line on the map that connects places having the same temperature for a given period of time. Example here is the map of the world. As you can see, it's 50 degree Fahrenheit, 50 degree Fahrenheit. So these lines connects the area that is having a temperature of 50 degree Fahrenheit. Likewise, if you come to the southern hemisphere, the 50 degree Fahrenheit and 50 degree Fahrenheit, the line is again connecting them. Or for example, 30 degree Fahrenheit and 30 degree Fahrenheit, there is a line connecting them. So this line which connects the places having the same temperature, it is called your isotherm. Isoheights, just like your isotherm, these are also a line, but instead of showing a temperature, isotherm shows you the amount of precipitations. So it connects the places having the same amount of precipitation with the help of a line on a map. Here again, 10 and 10, this is shown with the help of the line that this area or this region is having the average rainfall of 10 millimeter. Likewise, here 20 and 20, this line is connecting those areas which is receiving 20 centimeter of rainfall on that areas or region. So by this we come to the end of the chapter. I request the student to please read your textbook thoroughly to solve your question and answers. The questions answers will also be posted in your official website of your school. So please do check for the question and answers.